The year is 1861. The United States, a young nation founded on ideals of liberty and equality, finds itself on the brink of a devastating internal conflict, the Civil War. This brutal war pitted brother against brother, North against South, in a struggle over the very soul of the nation. At the heart of this conflict lay the deeply divisive issue of slavery. The Southern states, economically dependent on slave labor for their agricultural economy, fiercely defended the institution of slavery as integral to their way of life. The North, experiencing rapid industrialization and urbanization, increasingly viewed slavery as a moral abomination incompatible with the nation's founding principles. As tensions escalated, the nation found itself increasingly polarized, with passionate voices on both sides of the issue. Political compromises failed to bridge the chasm, and the fragile unity of the nation began to unravel. The election of 1860 proved to be a pivotal turning point, as Abraham Lincoln, a staunch opponent of slavery's expansion, was elected president. Fearful of Lincoln's intentions and determined to preserve their autonomy and way of life, 11 Southern states seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America. With the secession of the Southern states, the stage was set for one of the bloodiest chapters in American history. The American Civil War was a complex and multifaceted conflict with roots in a variety of factors. At its core, however, lay the fundamental question of slavery and its place in the fabric of American society. The Southern states viewed slavery as an economic necessity and a fundamental right protected by the Constitution. They argued for states' rights, emphasizing the autonomy of individual states to determine their own laws and institutions without federal interference. The North, on the other hand, increasingly viewed slavery as a moral evil, a stain on the nation's conscience. Abolitionists, fueled by moral outrage, condemned slavery as a crime against humanity and demanded its immediate abolition. As the nation expanded westward, the issue of slavery in new territories ignited fierce debates. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 and the Compromise of 1850 attempted to maintain a delicate balance between slave and free states, but these measures ultimately proved inadequate in containing the growing sectional tensions. The publication of Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1852 further inflamed anti-slavery sentiment in the North, galvanizing public opinion against the horrors of slavery. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which allowed for popular sovereignty to determine the status of slavery in new territories, ignited violence and bloodshed in Kansas, earning the territory the grim moniker of Bleeding Kansas. The Dred Scott Supreme Court decision of 1857, which denied citizenship to African Americans and declared the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional, further heightened tensions. The American Civil War erupted in April 1861 with the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina. The war that followed was a brutal and bloody affair, marked by epic battles and staggering casualties. The Battle of Antietam, fought in September 1862, remains the single bloodiest day in American military history, with over 22,000 casualties. The Battle of Gettysburg, fought in July 1863, proved to be a turning point in the war, marking the Confederacy's last major offensive in the North. In the Western Theater, Union General Ulysses S. Grant's victories at Vicksburg and Shiloh gave the Union control of the Mississippi River, effectively splitting the Confederacy in two. Amidst the carnage of war, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863. This landmark decree declared that all slaves held in Confederate territory shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free. While the Emancipation Proclamation did not immediately free all slaves, it transformed the war's objectives, making the abolition of slavery a central Union goal. The Emancipation Proclamation also allowed for the enlistment of African Americans in the Union Army, adding a moral dimension to the Union cause. Black soldiers, eager to fight for the freedom of their people, served with distinction in the United States Colored Troops, playing a vital role in the Union victory. The American Civil War, which lasted for 4 agonizing years, finally came to an end in April 1865 with the surrender of Confederate General Robert E. Lee to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. The war left an indelible mark on the nation, both physically and psychologically. Over 620,000 soldiers perished in the conflict, more than all other American wars combined. The war's most profound consequence was the abolition of slavery. The 13th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in December 1865, officially abolished slavery in the United States. While the end of slavery marked a significant step towards racial equality, the road ahead would be long and arduous. The Reconstruction era, which followed the Civil War, aimed to rebuild the South and integrate formerly enslaved people into American society. However, Reconstruction faced fierce resistance from white Southerners, who resented federal intervention and sought to maintain white supremacy. The legacy of slavery and the Civil War continues to shape American society to this day. The struggle for racial equality ignited by the Civil War remains an ongoing and evolving chapter in the American story. Despite the war's immense cost, it ultimately preserved the Union and reaffirmed the principles of freedom and equality upon which the nation was founded.